You know, they used to have floods. You know, they had them in like 1896 or something like that, and then 1908 and 1916 and 1922 and 26 and 7. And it was just, they used to come up slow and easy, go back down slow and easy. It wouldn't cause any damage except if it got in your house was a mess. And then 43 was really the major time when we realized we've built up this levee, and then if it breaks, it's going to really destroy the town. The mass of water coming through there would just destroy anything in its path. This is my barber shop in downtown Beardstown, Tyson's Barber Shop, and I've been in this place here since 1967, and I was down the street for 11 years in another barber shop, so I've always, since 55, I've been right here in this same place. And you know, I've seen the water up and I've seen it down, and I hate it because so many people have panicked, and so many people, especially the elderly and the people that aren't familiar with the river, have just panicked and bailed out of town and left everything. And you know, it's really too bad. Anything can happen, you know. To say it's not going to break or anything, nobody knows. There's a possibility there's a groundhog hole up there or some little soft spot and it could break, but I don't think it will. I just can't get worried about it myself. Maybe I'm too dumb to realize the danger.
In 22, I was born in Beardstown and lived there most of my life. In 22 and 26, no protection, just comes in. And right now they've gone around to the telephone poles and made marks, so everyone in the town today can see where the water level would be if the levee broke or went over the seawall.
We had prepared for this flood in 43. The last time water came into town was in 1927. And after that, they decided to build a levee. So then they started building levees and building the seawall. And then, after the 43 flood, they realized the levees weren't high enough, so then they raised everything up to 35-foot level. That's what it's supposed to be now. And until the water would actually get up there, you know, who knows exactly what it is. I mean, it's easy to say it's 35, it may be 37.
There's 8 locks from the Chicago to the Mississippi. And what they've done, they built levees. The levees have pushed this in, the river in, and then the farmers all along the contributaries are farming, and the silt's coming down. The silt is making the bottom of the river come up. Therefore, the height, when it comes 30 feet's going to be then a little bit higher.
You know, we get all the water from Chicago. Our problem really is probably 100 miles north of us. When you have the big cities, the water's all run off of their driveways, their lots, the parking lots, and it all ends up right down here, every bit of it.
There wasn't so much snow, but we had lots of heavy rains. And when we went a week ago traveling north, I go over the Vermilion River, the Kankakee River, the Illinois River, Des Plaines River. They're all filled to the tops. And I thought, all that water has to go down to Beardstown yet.
It doesn't look like much, but if you drive into rural country roads and look at all the creeks, that water's going someplace. And basically it ends up dumping into the Illinois River. And when the Illinois gets full, then it can't dump into the Illinois, so it just keeps backing up. Well, I think in 43, I believe the water level is 29.6. And I think they're talking about 29.9. You know, you feel good when the sun's shining and you can go outside. It just makes you feel better, period, regardless what the circumstances is. And you know, if you're not down there looking at that water, it kind of takes a backside on you. You don't get that excited.
The setback, you know, even though we hold it out, is that if I was going to build a business somewhere, I would be really concerned about building it behind a levee or a seawall, unless there was a high area. I think a lot of the people who come in don't even realize that we're sitting behind a seawall. Everything's nice and comfortable, and the river is nearly all the time, it's down within its banks.
You know, the people along the Illinois River are tough. They go through this constantly, so they all band together and get it done.
I'm just proud of the people of Beardstown that stay, and the people at work and the volunteers. You know, you can't fault anybody. There's no slackers. Everybody does their share.
When this is over, they should work to get the levees raised, the seawall raised, because nature is a crazy thing, and it's going to break a record sometime. And I thought it was going to do it this year. Someday it's going to happen.